continuation of the hidden plot, a slightly different take this week. So anyone that watched last week's video, hopefully you'll have seen that we have some aphids, obviously hopefully not, we have some aphids on one of our runner beans. So obviously we don't want to use any chemicals on it because it is going to be food at the end of the day, so we wanted something a bit more organic. So there is a Facebook group called Allotment Junkies, and I put the question out there on what I can do so I don't use chemicals, and a few people mentioned garlic spray. Now I've never made this before, so I figured I'll have a look into it, I'll Google it, I will get myself, no, not that one, I will get myself a recipe, I'll give it a whirl and you can watch with me as we see if it works or not. Some of them also said as well about using mint in there, and that will help sort of defer any bugs or any slugs or anything that might not be sort of caught up in the garlic. And some of the other blogs that I've been reading have also said though that if you don't want to use if you don't have ladybirds and different things, then this is a great one to be using. But if you do have ladybirds, then you do want to be sort of using a different mixture, which is maybe tomato leaves instead, because this can have a detrimental effects to the ladybirds. So let's get started. So apparently what we need is about 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, and these need to be crunched up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4 cloves of garlic. This is now probably going to take me forever to chop them all up. Put them into one pan. So it does say you need to sort of crush them up. So obviously you can get as much of the garlic out of it as possible. And we're going to steep this in oil for 24 hours. Now, the plan is that you're meant to use mineral oil, which obviously is something that they have in the US, but not something we would normally have in the UK. But again, my research into the ones in the UK have all suggested that they are for beauty products and might again not be edible, so I've sort of avoided using that and ordering any, and instead what I'm thinking is using some vegetable oil. So again, this can go one of 2 ways, but we shall see. So I'm just going to give this a bit of a rough chop, try not to cut my fingers off, because let's face it, I wouldn't put it past myself. Okay, so that's the garlic. I've actually only used 3 cloves in the end because one of them actually turned out to be a double when I opened it up. So we'll see how we get on with that. Next thing, as I've said, is I'm going to add some of the peppermint just to try and help avoid any other sort of unwanted bugs. So I'll just give this another quick rough chop. And I'm doing stems as well. I don't know whether that's the right thing to do, but hey, this is an experiment at the end of the day. Let's go nuts. And the mint itself has actually come from our allotment, because if I'm going to grow it, let's use it. And all this will be strained before I put it in the spray bottle. Okay, it's quite a long one, but never mind. Okay, so that's the mint, that's the garlic, and it says 2 teaspoons of oil, but I've put in a bit more, so I'll just give it a good slug. Okay. And a little bit more colour. And then give it okay. So this is the mixture. So we've got a good slug of oil in there, we've got some garlic, and we've got some fresh mint. So what I'm going to do now is just cover that up and put that in the fridge and let that rest for the next 24 hours. And then the next stage will be, tomorrow is obviously I'm going to add the water, so it should be roughly about a pint. I'm then going to put it through a piece of cloth basically that's going to help me sieve it. And then finally I will add a teaspoon of dish soap, sorry, reading the instructions while I do this. Teaspoon of dish soap, and then I'll put it in the spray bottle, and then I will take that down to the allotment. The plan is to then test it on a leaf, because there is obviously a risk that this is too strong, and obviously we don't want to kill the plant. So we will leave that on the leaf for the 2 days. yeah, 48 hours. If it is yellowing after that, then I need to water it down, but if it's not, then we're good to go and we'll spray the plant. And hopefully that will get rid of the aphids. But like I say, the only thing is that you need to take into consideration is this can get rid of good bugs as well, so you've got to be careful about where you spray it. And if you do sort of want to keep the good bugs, if you have good bugs, luckily we don't have ladybirds down in the allotment, but if you do want to keep the good stuff, then there are alternatives out there. So let's leave this for 24 hours and see what happens. See you in a bit. So it's 24 hours later, we've got the mixture. Now, I've moved outside because it smells really strong, and it's liable that I'm going to make a bit of a mess. So the instructions say that what we should be doing next is putting this through the cloths and then adding the water. However, there doesn't look like there is much of the oil in there. So what I'm going to do, oh my god, this stinks. If you don't like garlic, do not make this. So I'm going to add a bit of the water in and then strain it into another measuring jug before finishing it off, because let's face it, I make a lot of mess as well, and getting it in this tiny little bottle is going to take some doing. So let's add a bit of water first. Let's see how we get on with straining this. Move slightly so I don't end up wearing this. Okay. You can see it's coming through quite well, and it's still dripping, so I'm just going to give that a quick squeeze. Obviously we want as much of that as we can get. I should have brought a towel out with me. Didn't think about that one. And they smell beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a rinse with some more water. Like I say, we want as much of it as we can. Because if it is too strong, if it says on the leaves go yellow and it suggests it's too strong, we can always water it down. We want to make sure that we get as much of this as we can. Because you can always add more water, and I don't think you can add more garlic or mint. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to add the rest of the water. Actually, before I add the rest of the water, so the next thing it says to do is to add, I'm going to say a tablespoon of dish soap. So I've got Method, just because we like it to be a bit more green, and I figured if it gets it to work, there we go, just hopefully a couple of pumps of that, a bit of spray. I'm going to end up wearing this, I know I am. Add the rest of the water. And do a good mixture. Some bits do seem to have got through. So the reason we strain it is obviously because all it's going to do is block up the little nozzles. Fair games where you go and sort of do hook a duck, except it's hook a mint. It's not quite as fun. Okay. So there we go, I've probably overfilled this. I'm gonna make such a mess. Hopefully you can see it's a nice sort of cloudy colour. Now I'm just gonna get it in the bottles. I'm gonna absolutely stink. Oh well, all for the love of the lemonade. Right. Not to spill it. Doing alright. By the way, if you need to pee, this is not a video to be watching. Backup bottle. I figured I'd go with the green one first, because obviously green means plants. there we have it, bottle and a half of homemade ingredients. I'll probably take that one down because then if it is too strong we can always add more water, and slowly over time we can top up from that one to that one. Kind of goes against the whole we'll use the green one, but never mind. Right, I'll do that later when I go down to the water. Wish us luck. Okay, so spray made, and we're here to test it out on the plant. So one plant, and they are, I don't know whether you can see on here, that's the wrong leaf, line it up, Rach. So there are loads of the little buggers, but obviously I can't spray them today, so I need to test it on a leaf. And obviously you need to be a bit careful because hopefully, as you can see, it's starting to get flowers on these. So all the more reason to do it. So we've given everything a good water, just need to pick a relatively dryish leaf. And that's as dry as we're going to get, so we're going to go with that one there. We'll give it a spray and we'll see how we get on. So hang on, let me just get the spray, that's always helps. So one spray bottle, giving it a shake. There we go. Also helps if you turn it on, Roach. Okay, here we go. Should I do the underneath? Should I do the underneath? I'll do the underneath. Right, I've got a few others there. Right. Now we just gotta wait 48 hours and see how that goes. So, been at work. Yes, back at work. In the office, so now on my way home. It has been 48 hours since we sprayed the leaf, so I'm on my way to the allotment to check them out. Also check out the polytunnel because it hasn't rained. No, it hasn't rained. It has rained. It's been raining, people. Raining. So I'm off to check on everything, make sure everything's still alive. But obviously the rain doesn't get in the polytunnel, so I need to go towards the polytunnel. And then I get to go home. It's very exciting. Move bird, move bird, move bird, move bird. Jesus. Sorry. Yeah. Fingers crossed this leaf thing has worked and I haven't killed it. However, actually, if I'm going straight there, we're going to the allotment. It's so many technical issues. So I made it, I'm here, and I'm very happy. Very happy, because look at this. I'm going to try and do this and turn you around and not hang up. Hang up? Close it, because I've just done that twice. 1 second. So hopefully you can see, this is the leaf we tested on. And it's got a bit of a sheen to it where I've obviously sprayed it, but it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly healthy. So look out, aphids, 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 aphids. I'm coming for you. Mwah.